My beloved child, if you are hearing these words before September begins, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, let the noise around you become quiet. You've been carrying so much inside your heart, and perhaps you've become so accustomed to carrying it that you don't even realize how tired you are anymore. But I know the thoughts you keep to yourself. I know the questions you ask when nobody is around. I know about the dreams you are afraid to speak about because you have already been disappointed so many times. I know about the prayers you have repeated again and again, and I know there are moments when you wonder if I am listening. You wonder why the answer has not come. You wonder why other people seem to be moving forward while you feel as though you are standing in the same place. You wonder why something you prayed for with all your heart still hasn't happened. My beloved child, do not mistake silence for absence. Do not mistake waiting for rejection. And do not mistake a difficult season for the end of your story. You may not see what is happening yet. You may not understand why certain doors closed. You may not understand why certain people left. You may not understand why the opportunity you wanted went to someone else. You may not understand why the answer seems to be taking longer than you expected. But you do not have to understand everything to keep walking. Sometimes you are standing in a chapter that only makes sense when you look back at it later. And one day, you may look back at this very season and realize that what felt like a delay was also a time of preparation. You may realize that the door you cried over was not the door you were supposed to enter. You may realize that the person you desperately wanted to keep was not meant to walk with you forever. You may realize that the season you thought was destroying you was actually teaching you how strong you could become. My beloved child, I have seen you when you were strong, but I have also seen you when your strength disappeared. I have seen the smile you show everyone else, and I have seen the tears you hide when you are finally alone. I have seen you close the door behind you and sit quietly because you didn't know who else to talk to. I have seen the nights when your mind would not stop thinking. I have seen you calculate your expenses and wonder how everything would work out. I have seen you worry about your family. I have seen you question your future. I have seen you wonder whether your best days have already passed. I have seen you wake up tired even after sleeping. I have seen you continue working when you wanted to give up. I have seen you keep going when nobody applauded you. And I want you to know something. None of that was invisible. Your effort mattered. Your tears mattered. Your prayers mattered. Your persistence mattered. Even the small steps you thought were meaningless mattered. You may think you have not come far enough, but look at everything you have already survived. There were days you thought would break you, and yet you are still here. There were moments you thought you could never recover from, and yet you are still standing. There were nights when you wondered if morning would ever feel different, and yet morning came, again and again. My beloved child, you are approaching another month, and I do not want you to enter September carrying every disappointment from the months behind you. Leave some things behind. Leave the regret behind. Leave the comparison behind. Leave the constant need to understand why behind. Leave the people who no longer belong in your journey behind. Leave the version of yourself that believed one failure defined your entire life behind. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to dream again. You are allowed to believe that your future can be different from your past. September does not have to arrive with everything perfectly arranged. You do not need every problem solved before you can experience peace. You do not need to know the entire road before you take the next step. You only need enough courage for today. And when tomorrow comes, you will receive enough strength for tomorrow too. My beloved child, I know there is something you have been praying about. Maybe you have not told anyone. Maybe you have told everyone. Maybe it is a prayer you have carried for months. Maybe it is something you have asked for so many times that you are becoming afraid to ask again. You wonder, should I keep praying? Yes, Keep praying, but also keep listening. Because sometimes the answer is not simply a yes or a no. Sometimes the answer is direction. Sometimes it is patience. Sometimes it is a new opportunity. Sometimes it is the courage to walk away. Sometimes it is wisdom to recognize what has been in front of you all along. Do not become so focused on the answer you want that you miss the guidance you are receiving along the way. My beloved child, if you are praying for financial provision, do not lose hope, but also do not stop taking wise action. Look for opportunities. Learn, work, plan, ask for help when you need it. Do what you can with what you have. Do not allow shame to convince you that your financial circumstances determine your worth. Your bank balance does not define you. Your job does not define you. Your possessions do not define you. You are more valuable than everything you could ever own. And if September becomes a month where you have to start small, then start small. One decision, one application, one new skill, one conversation, one disciplined habit, one step at a time. Small steps can still take you somewhere beautiful. If you are praying for healing, my beloved child, do not be ashamed of needing time. Healing is not always instant. Sometimes healing comes slowly. Sometimes it comes through rest. Sometimes through support. Sometimes through forgiveness. Sometimes through professional help. Sometimes through changing the environment that has been hurting you. Whatever your journey looks like, do not believe that you have to hide your pain. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine. You can admit that something hurts and still believe that better days are possible. If you are praying for love, listen carefully. Do not lose yourself trying to make someone stay. Do not chase someone who repeatedly makes you question your worth. Do not confuse obsession with love. Do not call suffering devotion. Ask for a relationship built on honesty, respect, kindness, trust, and mutual effort. And if someone leaves your life, let yourself grieve, but do not conclude that their departure means you will never be loved again. Sometimes losing a relationship is not the end of love. Sometimes it is the beginning of learning how to love yourself with greater wisdom. And sometimes what you thought was the greatest loss becomes a space where something healthier eventually grows. My beloved child, if you are confused about your future, stop demanding that you know everything today. You do not need a perfect 5-year plan. You need the next right step. Ask yourself, what can I do today? Who can I encourage? What can I learn? What can I improve? What decision would bring me closer to the person I want to become? Then take that step. You do not have to run. Walk. You do not have to know everything. Learn. You do not have to be fearless. Be courageous while you are afraid. And do not compare your journey with someone else's. Their timeline is not your timeline. Their opportunities are not your opportunities. Their story is not your story. You may see someone receiving what you have been praying for and wonder, why not me? But you are only seeing one part of their story. You don't know their struggles. You don't know what they sacrificed. And you don't know what is being prepared for you. Comparison will make you blind to your own blessings. So look at your own life. Look at how far you have come. Look at what you have learned. Look at the people who genuinely love you. Look at the opportunities still available to you. Look at the breath in your lungs. Look at the fact that you woke up today. There is still possibility. There is still time. There is still room for growth. There's still room for joy. My beloved child, perhaps September will not change everything overnight, and that is okay. Do not place the weight of your entire future on one month. Instead, let September become the beginning of a new way of walking. Walk with greater wisdom. Walk with greater patience. Walk with greater discipline. Walk with greater gratitude. Walk with greater faith. When something goes wrong, do not immediately say, everything is ruined. Pause, breathe, ask, what can I learn from this? When something goes right, Do not immediately become afraid that it will disappear. Be grateful. Receive the good moment. You do not have to destroy today's joy by worrying about tomorrow's problems. My beloved child, do not borrow tomorrow's anxiety. Tomorrow has not happened yet. You are carrying imaginary burdens for days you have not even lived. Come back to today. Today is where your life is happening. Today is where you can pray. Today is where you can make a decision. Today is where you can forgive. Today is where you can begin. And today is enough. There may be moments in September when things do not go according to plan. Do not let one bad day convince you that the entire month is bad. One rejection does not mean you are rejected by life. One failure does not mean you are a failure. One closed door does not mean every door is closed. One difficult conversation does not mean every relationship is broken. One setback does not erase your progress. Keep going. My beloved child, there are people you may need to release. Not everyone who started with you is meant to finish the journey with you, and that can hurt. Sometimes the hardest goodbyes are not the strangers. They are the people you once trusted, people you loved, people you imagined would always be there. But remember, letting go does not always mean hatred. You can forgive someone and still create distance. You can wish someone well and still stop giving them access to your peace. You can love someone and still recognize that the relationship is unhealthy. Do not spend your life trying to convince people to appreciate what you bring. The right relationships will not require you to constantly prove your worth. Protect your peace. Protect your time. Protect your heart. And surround yourself with people who genuinely want to see you grow. My beloved child, you have spent enough time asking, why did this happen to me? Perhaps now you can begin asking, what can this season teach me? Maybe this season is teaching you patience. Maybe it is teaching you boundaries. Maybe it is teaching you discipline. Maybe it is teaching you compassion. Maybe it is teaching you to stop seeking validation from people who cannot give it. Maybe it is teaching you to depend less on circumstances and more on faith. Whatever the lesson is, learn it, because you do not want to walk into a new season carrying the same patterns that created the old one. September can be different because you can be different, not perfect, different, wiser, stronger, more aware, more disciplined, more peaceful, more intentional. My beloved child, I want you to remember something when you feel discouraged. You are not required to understand the entire plan. You are not required to know exactly when everything will happen. You are not required to control every outcome. There are things you can control. Your effort, your attitude, your choices, your boundaries, your words, your habits, your willingness to learn, your willingness to forgive, your willingness to keep going. Focus there and surrender the rest. Because peace begins when you stop trying to control what was never yours to control. My beloved child, if you have been waiting for a sign that you should keep going, let this be your reminder, not a guarantee that every desire will come true exactly as you imagine, not a promise that September will be perfect, but a reminder that your life is not finished. There are still possibilities you cannot see. There are still lessons you have not learned. There are still people you have not met. There are still places you have not been. There are still prayers you have not prayed. There are still mornings you have not experienced. There are still reasons to hope. So don't give up because you cannot see the whole picture. Sometimes you only receive enough light for the next few steps. Take them. My beloved child, when you enter September, I want you to stop saying, "Nothing ever works for me." Instead say, "I am still learning." Stop saying, "I will never get there." Say, "I am still moving." Stop saying, "I am too far behind." Say, "My journey has its own timing." Stop saying, "I have lost everything." Say, There is still something I can rebuild. Stop saying, I cannot do this. Say, I can take the next step. Your words matter because the way you speak to yourself shapes the way you approach your life. Speak with hope. Speak with humility. Speak with courage. And when you make a mistake, speak with grace. My beloved child, I want to pray for you now. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders relax. And if your heart feels heavy, place that heaviness here. Heavenly Father, as this new month approaches, I pray for the person listening right now. You know what they are carrying. You know what they are afraid of. You know the prayers they have been waiting on. You know the dreams they have almost abandoned. Give them strength for what lies ahead. Give them wisdom when decisions become difficult. Give them peace when circumstances become uncertain. Give them courage when fear tells them to stop. Give them patience when the answer takes longer than expected. Help them recognize healthy opportunities. Help them recognize unhealthy patterns. Help them know when to move forward and when to wait. Help them release the people, habits, and thoughts that keep pulling them backward. Give them the strength to forgive. Give them the wisdom to establish boundaries. Give them the humility to ask for help. Give them courage to begin again. Where there is financial pressure, provide wisdom and opportunity. Where there is loneliness, bring meaningful connection. Where there is confusion, bring clarity. Where there is heartbreak, bring healing. Where there is disappointment, restore hope. Where there is fear, bring peace. And wherever this person goes in September, remind them that they do not have to carry everything alone. Help them become stronger without becoming bitter. Help them become successful without becoming proud. Help them become confident without becoming arrogant. Help them receive blessings without forgetting gratitude. And when good things come, help them remember where they came from. When difficult things come, help them remember that difficult seasons do not last forever. Guide their steps. Guard their heart. Give them wisdom. Give them peace. Give them courage. And help them trust you with what they cannot control. Amen. My beloved child, now take another breath. You have made it through more than you realize, and you are still here. Do not let the fear of September steal the peace you can have today. You do not know what this month will bring, and that uncertainty can be frightening. But uncertainty also means possibility. You do not know what conversation may happen. You do not know what opportunity may appear. You do not know what lesson may change your life. You do not know who you may become. So enter the month with an open heart. Do not demand that everything happen according to your plan. Ask for wisdom to recognize what is good. Ask for courage to pursue it. Ask for discernment to walk away from what is harmful. And ask for faith to continue when the road becomes difficult. My beloved child, your story is not over. The chapter you are living right now may be painful. It may be confusing. It may be slow, but it is still only a chapter. Do not confuse the current chapter with the entire book. There are pages you have not read yet. There are moments you have not lived yet. There are victories you have not experienced yet. There are lessons you have not learned yet. There is still life ahead. So keep going, one day at a time, one prayer at a time, one decision at a time, one step at a time. And when you feel like you cannot go any further, take a smaller step, but keep moving. My beloved child, as September approaches, let go of the need to have everything figured out. You don't need all the answers. You need faith for the next step. You don't need to know exactly when the breakthrough will come. You need courage to keep preparing. You don't need to know who will stay forever. You need wisdom to appreciate the people who are genuinely present today. You don't need to know what tomorrow holds. You need to trust that you can face tomorrow when it arrives. And remember, your worth is not waiting at the end of a successful month. Your worth is already there. You are valuable before the promotion. You are valuable before the relationship. You are valuable before the money. You are valuable before the achievement. You are valuable even when you are struggling. Never forget that. My beloved child, September is coming. Let it come. Do not meet it with panic. Meet it with prayer. Do not meet it with comparison. Meet it with gratitude. Do not meet it with desperation. Meet it with wisdom. Do not meet it believing that you have to fix everything immediately. Meet it knowing that small steps still count. And if the month surprises you with something beautiful, be grateful. If it challenges you, grow. If it redirects you, listen. If it closes a door, do not immediately assume it is the end. And if you stumble, get back up, because your future does not require perfection. It requires persistence. My beloved child, you may not see the whole path yet, but you can still walk. You may not have every answer, but you can still pray. You may still have unanswered questions, but you can still hope. And you may still have tears in your eyes, but you can still move forward. So tonight, or whenever you hear these words, say this quietly. God, I trust you with my September. I trust you with my future. I trust you with the things I cannot control. Give me wisdom for the things I can control. Help me release the past. Help me live in the present. Help me walk into the future with courage. And then breathe. You don't have to force everything. You don't have to chase everything. You don't have to prove everything. Just keep walking. My beloved child, may this coming month bring you closer to peace. May it bring clarity to your decisions. May it strengthen your faith. May it deepen your gratitude. May it teach you something valuable. May it open your eyes to opportunities you might otherwise overlook. May you find strength where you thought you had none left. May you discover that you are capable of more than you believed. And when the month does not go exactly according to plan, may you still have enough faith to say, God, I don't understand this yet, but I will keep walking. Because sometimes the most beautiful transformation does not begin when everything changes around you. It begins when something changes inside you. And perhaps that is where your new season begins. Not with a miracle that instantly solves everything, but with a heart that finally says, I am ready to move forward. So move forward. Leave yesterday behind. Take today's step. Trust tomorrow to God. And remember, your story is still being written. The difficult chapter is not the whole book. The unanswered prayer is not the whole story. The closed door is not the whole future. The disappointment is not the final destination. There is still hope. There is still purpose. There is still possibility. And there is still a reason to wake up tomorrow and try again. My beloved child, September is not something you need to fear. It is simply another beginning. Walk into it gently. Walk into it wisely. Walk into it prayerfully. Walk into it with hope. And whatever comes, do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your growth. Do not give up on your future. And most importantly, do not forget that you are never required to see the entire road before taking the next step. Take the next step, then the next, then the next. And one day, when you look back, you may realize that the journey you were so afraid to begin was the very journey that changed your life. So go into September with peace in your heart, with courage in your spirit, with gratitude for what you already have, and with faith for what is still ahead. My beloved child, your story is not finished. Your best moments are not necessarily behind you. There are still chapters to write. There are still dreams to pursue. There are still lessons to learn. There are still people to love. There are still memories to make. There is still a future waiting for you. So breathe, let go, pray, trust, and take the next step. September is coming, and you are ready to meet it. Amen.